Recording. Good morning, Unity Halton Peel, and welcome to our gathering today. It is this first Sunday after Easter, and part of me can't believe that it's already after Easter. That's the challenge with an early Easter. It comes and it's not spring looking outside yet. This greenery is just starting to pop up. So welcome. And let's just take a moment to breathe into this gathering, to allow the week that has been and the week that is to come and anything in between to just sit outside our consciousness for a moment. We'll give ourselves permission just to be fully present in this time, in this space. Bringing ourselves present, we anchor ourselves in our mission to lovingly inspire transformation and be of service to the world. And now I'm going to call on Margaret to give us our daily word for today.
Hey, thanks, Wendy. Divine order. I see divine order expressing everywhere. I delight in the glorious colors, fragrances, and arrangement of plants in the garden. I celebrate the imagination, the meticulous planning, and the diligent work that transformed a patch of ground, some seeds, water, and fertilizer into a beautiful, life-filled place. I recognize the role of divine order in creation of this garden, expressing through everyone who worked to bring it into being. It began as an idea in a divine mind. Someone received the idea, cooperating minds, developing a plan. Willing hands prepared soil, planted seeds, then watered and tended the growing plants. My spiritual vision perceives divine order, the eternal dance of mind, idea, and manifestation, expressing everywhere. God saw everything that he made, and indeed, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Genesis 1:31.
Thank you, Margaret. All right, it's a new month, which means a new power and a new picture in our calendar. Our thought for the month of April in our calendar is healing. And a daily word from 1966, I have the faith to believe that healing is not only possible, but inevitable. And our color for the month is pink, symbolizing love, represented by the disciple John. And our place is in our heart center. And we just allow our hearts and minds to come together, and to allow our thoughts to be ones of love and of healing. All right. I needed some quiet music. I know I usually have really upbeat music, but I needed quiet music today. So our first one is A Blessing to the World by Karen Drecker.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. blessing to the we are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the world. I'm a blessing to the I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart, I am the hands. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the heart.
Our affirmations for the month of April, which can be found at unity.org under the prayer page. Our affirmation for inner peace this month. I express the peace and love of my Christ Spirit. I express the peace and love of my Christ Spirit. For those of you who might be new to Unity, we use the term Christ to designate the eternal, universal, divine spirit in each one of us. It is not limited to a single person. For guidance, I seek the guidance of spirit and I move forward confidently. I seek the guidance of spirit and I move forward confidently. Healing. I am renewed in mind, body, and spirit by the healing power of God within. I am renewed in mind, body, and spirit by the healing power of God within. For prosperity, I am open to divine ideas and use them to prosper my life. I am open to divine ideas and use them to prosper my life. And finally, for world peace, I walk in harmony and acceptance with all beings. I walk in harmony and acceptance with all beings. And so it is. And birthday blessings, April babies. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we rejoice with the anniversary of your arrival on this planet. With that thought, My second song that I've chosen is Nothing is Impossible, co-written by Letty Hammock and Sue Riley, performed by Sue Riley.
I am standing at the gate of unlimited possibility. I'm ready for the blessings only Spirit can bestow. I am open and receptive for the good that's bound to come to me. This I know, and I know that I know nothing is impossible. It is never too late. Nothing is too much for God. No challenge too great. Hold on to your faith. The truth will be revealed. Nothing's incurable. All things can be healed. Faith is the power to receive and to give form. It takes hold of desire when you believe. You will walk on water even through the storm. What I believe I can conceive. Thank God in faith I will receive. Nothing is impossible. It is never too late. Nothing is too much for God. No challenge too great. Hold on to your faith. The truth will be revealed. Nothing's incurable. All things can be healed. Nothing is impossible. It is never too late. Nothing is too much for God. No challenge too great. Hold on to your faith. The truth will be revealed. Nothing's incurable. All things can be healed. Nothing's incurable. All things can be healed.
So my talk today is actually part 2 of my Easter talk. The tomb is empty. Now what? And I got thinking about this. Well, I had to think about it early because I send my talk titles in a couple months earlier than I speak them. And it's been interesting once I sent the attention that this was what I was going to talk about. What happens after Easter? What happens after we have this story of a risen Jesus? What happens? What does it mean for me? And I was listening to a podcast. I have a little difficulty with it because it's more traditional theology, but I always find a good nugget or two in it. And the pastor who gives this particular podcast was talking about how he was so aware of the letdown after Easter that he had been so busy preparing for Palm Sunday and then preparing for the Maundy Thursday service with foot washing he was going to do and the Good Friday service, and then they were going to have a silent meditation on Saturday, and then of course all of the excitement of Sunday. And he said, I was so feeling it in my heart. And then by about Wednesday, I had forgotten that it had been Easter because there was this letdown. And he said, and it's not just limited to Easter or Christmas or other spiritual observances, that it happens in other aspects of our lives that, we have what we call that honeymoon period, whether it's in a new job or a new relationship or a new home or whatever. We have that period where we're all excited, or we go on vacation and we have that letdown afterwards. And I got thinking about that and kind of being aware of it in myself as I was going through the week this week. And as I was saying to a few of you before we started the actual gathering, I was really struggling as I was writing this to remind myself that Easter is only a week away, that it's only been a week since Easter, that in the busyness of the work that I do, I lost track of that joy, of that excitement of Easter. Now, maybe it's because I didn't have an Easter egg hunt, so I didn't have leftover chocolate all week. I don't know. But it left me feeling kind of like, now what? Because now I don't have any really exciting holidays to prepare for until Advent, which isn't for a while yet. It doesn't start till November. And so I was kind of feeling like kind of in the middle of nowhere. How do I stay focused? How do I keep doing what I need to do? How do I keep clear on what is mine to do and what is my next best step when it feels like I'm in the middle of the wilderness? And as we observed last week, it's been 5 years since we've had an in-person Easter service. It's been 4 full years now that we have been doing service solely on Zoom. And I think that's been a struggle for all of us. We have tried to do things where we get together. And I know I'm grateful for the fact that with Zoom and other platforms, that I'm able to meet people who I haven't met in person yet, but I feel like I know them because we've been walking this spiritual journey together for 4 years now. And there are some folks I have known even longer on other platforms because I've been serving on committees where, we meet across Canada or across the States or a combination of the two countries. And so we've needed to meet online because it's just cost prohibitive to meet in person. But that doesn't always make it the best. I remember last year when I finally went to an in-person convention for Unity. And I finally got to hug the people that I'd been talking to for years. And I finally got to see how tall they were really in life and what their eyes looked like when there wasn't a reflection from their camera on their glasses, and just to be with them in person. So I got thinking about, so what tools can we use? So I have probably just about worn this book out. If you have a copy, I invite you to go and reread it because this is my foundation book when I'm going through a transition. That's by Robert Brummett. We've heard him before. He's come and visited us, and certainly Rev Mary, when she was here, did a number of his books with us. And I got thinking about, as I'm feeling this unease, and let down from the excitement of Lent and Holy Week and Easter, that maybe it was time to remind me. So this is going to be my journey, and you're coming along for the ride. So if it works for you, terrific. And if it doesn't, no worries. We're all in different places. We all have different interactions. We all have different schedules for our week. Some of you may be retired. Some of you may not be employed right now and be looking for employment. Some of you may be like me, self-employed and trying to balance a whole bunch of different people and different needs and different schedules. Some of you may have a very routine schedule every week. and all of them are perfect, and all of them bring opportunities for change, some of which are cast upon us, like COVID showing up and shutting things down. And other things are just the natural process of life. We get to a point where it feels right to take retirement, or it feels right that to let go of something, to attend to something else, to take a different direction in our lives. So Robert's book has 5 basic areas: the paradox of change, endings, the void, new beginnings, and the plan unfolds. And I'm just going to touch briefly on this. I mean, this could be a whole year-long series as far as I'm concerned, once a month with me. Maybe we'll do a book study on this. I don't know. But it's, as I said, it's one of my favorites to go through. I actually had the blessing back in the late 90s of taking a course with Robert. It was a 5-week course where we dove into this book and really took a deep dive. And I think that's why it's so foundational to me, because having studied with the author, I understand what he meant. And I actually noticed some extra marginal notes that I had made during the class where he amplified something or clarified something. Change often shatters our sense of meaning and takes us into new territory where the old maps no longer work. You remember what it was like when we first started Zoom on Sundays? It was a bit chaotic at times. We had, the computer wanted to reboot itself sometimes. And sometimes we had trouble where a firewall was keeping somebody from accessing our gathering. We had challenges with making sure the mic levels were correct and, just making sure everything was the best it could be. And we made it through. Just, spoiler alert, we've made it through. But it required us to change how we did things. I know for me, it was a bit of a shift, and it still is. Now that I'm speaking regularly in person at Unity of London, I'm finding that an interesting dynamic because they do a hybrid service where I'm both speaking to people on Zoom, in the future on social media, and to the audience right in front of me. So the old maps about how to speak to an audience don't work for me anymore. The old maps of how do I set the space up behind me don't work, because I never thought about that before. I never thought about, okay, what do I need to do to make sure that this is a clean and basically visible version. And I'm thinking perhaps I need some more light because I can see that I'm kind of dark. So there's some light. Let there be light. Every change is a type of death. Our fear of death, of change, is fear of life itself. To resist death is to resist life. For every death is the harbinger of new life. And I think about that as I'm looking outside at the lawn as the old grass is coming out, and I can see the shoots beginning to form. But that old grass from last season has to make way for the new. And so too with us, even though it's not always comfortable. Transition is a process. A process is change occurring over a period of time. A process has certain elements that must occur in the right order and at the right time. And I think that's really challenging for me because sometimes I want to push through and get things done and have things emerge in a certain way. And sometimes I'm not patient, believe it or not. But if we think about how we've done things as a ministry, as a spiritual center over the last years, and moving into this new space where we don't always see each other person to person. And we have had some of our membership pass on into another experience of the soul's discovery. And when we get together, it's different because we've all been on a slightly different journey. We haven't had that same connection that we have had in the past. And so as we move forward as a community, because change not only happens to us individually, but it happens as a community. We need to consider the right things, the right order, the right outworking of things. This one really hit me, and I had made some notes at the time around this paragraph. Pain is often a sign that a new level of understanding is breaking through. With right understanding, we can minimize our pain and allow the breakthrough to emerge. Sometimes we buy into the belief that everything that dies has to be sad, has to be grief-stricken. And one of the things I have learned now that I have been at the bedside of 5 people as they've drawn their last breath is that yes, it's painful. Yes, it hurts. Yes, there is a shift in you that will never shift back to how things were before. And I can give thanks in that moment because each of those people were in exquisite pain and the medications were not helping and they were suffering and they were clear that they were suffering and they were clear that they were ready to let go. And so for me, being able to say, go in peace, I release you. Go to whatever is next for your soul's discovery. Yeah, it was through tears. Don't, don't, don't believe that I wasn't crying as I said it because of the pain of saying goodbye and knowing that they were not going to be physically with me going forward. And in being able to say, I release you, I let you go. It did dampen the pain a little bit. It did ease the pain compared to when I hadn't been able to say that, when I was so desperate to hold on to them. And so too, I've discovered letting go of outer circumstances. When I left my job with the government, I knew it was time. It was very clear to me that I no longer fit in that model. I no longer fit in that position, that it was toxic to me, that it was harming me physically, and that I needed to get the heck out. And yet I cried as I walked to my car that last day because there was going to be a huge change. I didn't know what my next best step was. I had been reassured by my husband that we would be okay without my income and that I needed to take care of myself. And so we did a few things before I went back to work. But it was about being in that space of, it hurts to let go of these people. It hurts to let go of that old map that was drive to work, put in the hours, drive home, go to sleep, get up, drive to work, and so on and so on. But in allowing that reflection and that understanding that I needed to do what was best for me in that moment, in that time period, the pain eased relatively quickly. Every so often I'd still have a tinge where, I would run into someone and I would be like, how you doing? And I'd realize how much I missed seeing them Monday to Friday. And over time, that too has calmed down. That's not to say that there isn't that twinge every so often, but it's not a deep sobbing, you know, operatic, dramatic kind of pain. It's something, just a little niggle that reminds me I'm still alive. I'm still having a human experience. And I can process that as needed, very gently, very lovingly as I move forward. The next part of the book is endings. And so Robert writes, there are 4 aspects of the ending experience: disengagement, disidentification, disenchantment, and disorientation. Disengagement is pulling back from, pulling away from. I'm quite certain I was disengaged from my previous job long before I actually quit, before I put in my resignation, which made it so much easier to go to my manager and say, I'm gone in 2 weeks. Oh, and by the way, I'm taking those 2 weeks as my banked vacation rather than having to pay out. So I'm here till Friday and then I'm gone. So it was, it was perfect for me. I didn't have any second thoughts because I had disengaged, because I could see the writing on the wall. I could see that the only solution for what was happening was a huge change, and that was removing myself from that job. Disidentification. Hey, I had been in that job for 12 years. I was very much identified with that job. I was very proud of that job. I was very identified with it. I didn't have business cards. I wasn't that special, but I was known around the courthouse. I was known by judges. I was known by lawyers. I was known by staff. I was known, I was somebody that people knew. So moving to from something where I had a title behind my name to I'm self-employed, but I don't know what that looks like, was quite an ending for me. Disenchantment. Now, there's a couple meanings to this. Robert actually has a very specific meaning for it. Let me just grab the page here. So, in disenchantment, Robert writes, every culture enchants its members through its system of collective beliefs and values. We usually assume these beliefs are true without question. To be disenchanted is to have one of these basic assumptions shattered. He doesn't just say broken, he says shattered. We may need these beliefs or enchantments at certain stages of our growth, but at some point we need to release them. Much of our growth consists of letting go of outgrown enchantments. Ultimately, this is a very positive thing, but it rarely seems so at the time. It usually feels awful. And yeah, those last few days I had working were awful, because beliefs I had about that everything was going to be okay, that I would walk away with, a sense of pride in what I had done, that I was appreciated. I discovered how unappreciated I was, but that's another story. So that shattering of something that we have known and loved and has been a part of us can lead to disenchantment. It's not just that sense of, oh, that this doesn't fit me anymore. The way Robert uses it is just that whole idea of who we are being broken. And disorientation. Oh man, was I disoriented. It was kind of scary. Just not knowing, because the old maps weren't working. I didn't know what my next best step was. Other than I knew we had paid to go to convention and we were going to be going to Unity Village. That was the only thing I knew going forward. Oh, and that my husband loved me. That's a good thing to have. There is no single right way to experience an ending. It is important to allow ourselves to have our feelings and to be cautious in making major decisions. That's kind of the thing that a lot of funeral homes and lawyers will tell you after, a death of a family member. Don't make any major decisions. Don't go doing stuff because you're not in your right space yet. You've just experienced a traumatic ending. At this time, it is especially important to turn to the God of our understanding and to trust that we are being guided. And by God of our understanding, Robert means, however you understand that. If it's just a gut reaction, that's okay too. It doesn't have to be something formal or outside yourself. In fact, we're looking for the God of our understanding that expresses in, through, and as us. The next step is the void. That's that point where something's ended, but nothing's quite begun. Some people call it the hallway, that being in the hell in the hallway. The void can be a difficult period of life, but a very important one. An opportunity for new freedom and empowerment, a time for transformation. We want so desperately to finish something and get started that we often bypass the void. And it's important not to. And full disclosure, I have tried to avoid the void in a number of times in my life, only to have it bite me really badly in the backside later. And so I've learned to be okay in that discomfort. All creation begins with emptiness. It is from the emptiness that new life emerges. The new self is born from the emptiness. So if you're feeling like you're empty, you're lost, you're discombobulated, that's a healthy sign, actually, because it means that that ending has happened and it's been cleared out, and you're creating that space for the next best step. When a new beginning occurs, the external circumstances of our life reflect the internal transformation that has always taken place. Robert's very clear about new beginning, and you notice it's capitalized because it's the true new beginning. We may have some stutter starts. We may have some things that we think are a new beginning, but they actually aren't. They're actually the ending calling for healing because we haven't finished our void work. One of the best ways to prepare for a new beginning is to discover your soul's deepest desire. And as I present these, I invite you to not only consider, what does this mean for me as a person, but also what does it mean for us as a spiritual center as we continue to move forward, figuring out what our mission is, how that works, and how we present ourselves to the world. What is it that I have always enjoyed doing, or what brings me joy? What has always come naturally for me? What have I felt naturally drawn or attracted to? What would I do with my life if I were not concerned with money? What would I do if I knew I could not fail? And as I said, the fastest way through the void is through it. Taking that time, and we've been in the void for a while now. And I'm feeling like we've got a new beginning coming for Halton Peel. We've got to not figure this out, but just undertake, and this is my invitation to you, undertake that internal work, figuring out, what is it that you're bringing to our community? What is it that you are bringing to the group? What is it that you are bringing? Whether it's that you have musical skills, or that you have administrative skills, or that you know someplace that really would like to make a little extra money by renting out some space of a Sunday, or perhaps another day, that you have a real sense of hospitality, and you'd like to be able to be the one that welcomes people into our space, or that you feel a sense of hospitality that includes cleaning, that you want to be the one that blesses every chair as you vacuum through, the space, or preparing the space, putting out the chairs for the day. I've done church in a box. It takes many hands. And it can be done. And perhaps that's our next best step, is figuring out what this is going to look like going forward. Knowing that the tomb is empty. We've done that inner time. And now it's time to go out and share a message, share our energy, share who we are. Not all new beginnings involve dramatic external changes in our life. Perhaps very little has changed externally, but internally, we are no longer living in the same world. Chop wood, carry water. I don't know what Unity Halton Peel is going to look like going forward. I honestly don't. Sometimes it feels overwhelming that we are still meeting online. Sometimes I wonder what the future holds for us. And what I know from almost 40 years of Unity experience is that it takes a village. It takes all of us. Because we got to chop wood and carry water. Chop water. That could be, well, I guess ice. We chop ice, right? Anyway, that's my thoughts. For our meditation, I'm going to do something I've done before because you've had to listen to me so much today. I've got a musical, a song for us to listen to. And at the end of the song, we'll just have a few moments of silence just to breathe and allow all of these thoughts to resonate. So here's Daniel Namaud.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy, some say naive to close my eyes and take the lead. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. So when my mind plays its usual game, oh, my answer is always the same. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. No, but I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. But I'm not
And so it is. Amen. As always, our Unity prayer chaplains are here to share with you a Unity prayer intention. Diane's email is at the bottom, praywithdiane@gmail.com. Any intention that you request will be forwarded in confidence to the Unity Halton Peel prayer team. And after 30 days of constant prayer by them, it will be forwarded to Silent Unity, which is Unity's home prayer ministry, which has been praying 24/7 for 130 plus years. As always, we thank you in advance for your financial support. You can see on the screen ways of providing our financial support. We are fully paid for by your gifts. And in any language, we say thank you. We appreciate you, and we send you blessings and wishes for a wonderful new beginning. If you are watching this on social media and are joining us for the first time, please join us on our website that you will find upcoming events, our newsletter. You can sign up for that. We have a number of links to other Unity events and resources, so please take some time and visit us. As always, we are a tithing community. A portion of our April funds will be going to Eden Food for Change, which is a wonderful resource in our local community. We have also, last month at the AGM, we had decided that on months with a fifth Sunday, the community would vote for who would receive the fifth Sunday donation. For March, a donation has been made to Doctors Without Borders, Médecins Sans Frontières, which is an independent international humanitarian organization that delivers emergency medical assistance to people affected by armed conflict, epidemics, and disasters, or exclusion from healthcare in more than 70 countries around the world. So thank you for helping us to make that contribution. The rest of the month, next week, Reverend Mary will join us, then Reverend Barbara, and the last week, Debbie Long will be back. unitycanada.org, the Spirit Group registration is now open. There are 6 groups being offered at this point. Mine is called What's So Good About the Good Book, and it's a Bible study, and from Unity's perspective of metaphysics and understanding that culturally and historically, it may not be what we think it is. The new one is Cooking and Laughing with Claudio and Bob, which is actually going to be a cooking show. So please consider joining us. As I say, at unitycanada.org, click on the link to Spirit Groups, and more information about all of these groups are available there, as well as registration information. And that, I believe, is all the announcements. So we come to the conclusion of our gathering. And let us just take a moment to breathe in, to bless and appreciate the children of our family, the children of our community, the children of our country, the children of the world, knowing that they are equally divine beings, even when outer circumstances makes it seem not. And we open our hearts and minds to surround these young ones with our blessing. Children and youth of Unity and of the world, we love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And we close our gathering with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And thank you to Sue Riley for singing us out.
growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose
Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful week. Hope to see you again soon.